Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our virtual presentation on our Women Explorers Costa Rica tour. Before we jump into the presentation, I have a couple things to mention. Everyone is on mute, and you may like to ask a question or two, so please type your questions into the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen. If you've joined us from Facebook, you can type your question into the comment section and we will get to them as soon as we can. We welcome questions anytime throughout the presentation, and we'll get to as many as we can at the end of our presentation. Throughout the presentation, we will conduct a couple of pop-up polls asking for your participation by making a simple selection. If you're joining from Facebook, the polls won't pop up, but you are able to type your answer into the comment section, and your input is greatly appreciated and will help us moving forward with future presentations and tour planning. So here is our first pop-up poll. Please let us know if you would like to sign up for our email newsletter. And I'll just get that poll going here. If you already get our email, you can let us know that you're already getting it. You'll receive invites to future presentations, as well as timely information on new tours. You won't be inundated with emails, and you can unsubscribe at any time. There may be a few more emails than normal right now, as we keep everyone informed on our virtual presentation series. Just wait for everyone to fill that out. And you can also sign up for both Women Explorers and the Westworld tours if you'd like. Just let everyone get that done. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so a little bit about us. Women Explorers is a division of Westworld Tours, one of Western Canada's premier tour companies that has been serving Canadians from coast to coast with escorted travel throughout North America and around the world for over 20 years. On each of our tours, you will experience all the great sights, attractions, and activities that are important to you. Trusting all the quality components of a successful trip are there, including excellent accommodations, modern, comfortable coaches, professional tour directors, experienced, courteous drivers, baggage handling, and several meals throughout the tour. Thousands of passengers have chosen Westworld Tours' first-class style of touring, enjoying the great value, security, and stress-free environment. Women Explorers is all about enriching the lives of women by exposing them to new experiences through travel and friendship, creating a fun and casual environment to connect as they explore the globe together. For women of all ages and backgrounds, our small group size delivers a highly personalized and rewarding travel experience with a group of like-minded women to share in those experiences. It's hard to believe until you've experienced it for yourself, but traveling and getting to know women with a common interest that you may have never ordinarily met can be as rewarding as the travel itself. We invite you to explore the history, mystery, culture, nature, and adventure with us as we travel the globe. We know great friendships will be formed. So Women Explorers is designed by women for women, and the small group size delivers a highly personalized and rewarding travel experience. Go with a small group of like-minded ladies to soak up the history, mystery, culture, nature, and adventure. Plus, you can avoid the dreaded single supplement through Women Explorers guaranteed room sharing, where you are paired with another woman of similar age wherever possible. Or you can always choose your own room or bring along your a roommate for yourself. The fully escorted itineraries cater to singles, sisters, friends, mothers, and daughters, and new friends you'll make along the way. You don't have to be physically fit to participate, but being physically active is important to have the best experience possible on a Women Explorers tour. As everyone knows, COVID has turned the world upside down, with travel impacted as much or more than any other industry. With the health and safety of our travelers and staff being our highest priority, we are continually monitoring the situation. Having canceled all tours, departures up until the end of July, and with that, we understand that your money you trusted in us may be better used for other things at this time. And to respect that, we have refunded everyone booked on a canceled tour. It doesn't feel right issuing future travel credits. After all, it is your money. When and where you want to travel, not us. And I just quickly wanted to touch on our commitment to safe travel. So our priority here at Westworld Tours is to ensure the safety of our guests and staff while exploring, experiencing, and creating lifelong memories. With your welfare being top of mind, we have enriched our already robust health and safety protocols, giving you that much needed confidence to travel once again. With that being said, we are anticipating we won't be traveling until everyone is fully vaccinated. But in the meantime, we're making sure that we have all the protocols in place and we'll be doing all the extras to keep everyone safe. And you can find more details on this on our website. So before we jump into Costa Rica, we have a great lineup of upcoming presentations for the rest of the month. On June 16th, you can hear about our President's Collection tour to Portugal that includes a river cruise with Alma Waterways. On June 23rd, you can hear about our Croatia tour, Jewel of the Adriatic, where we cruise on a private yacht. And on June 30th, join us as we head to the land down under for some information about our new Australia New Zealand land tour. And if there are any tours you would like to see virtual presentations on or added to our lineup, please drop a comment in the Q&A box. You can also find previous virtual presentations on our website, and they'll all be recorded, so you can all find them there. So now into Costa Rica. We invite you to join us in Costa Rica, our Treetops, Treks, and Tropics tour, January 26th to February 8th of 2022. Pura Vida, simply translated, means simple life or pure life. In Costa Rica, it's more than just a saying, it's a way of life, and it won't take you long before you melt into the relaxed and happy Costa Rica lifestyle, leaving you with a renewed appreciation for nature, culture, and wonderful memories of your amazing experiences to take home with you. So our second poll for the evening is, when do you think you might want to travel to this destination or travel to any destination? And there's a poll here. So if you're joining us from Facebook, you can let us know if you think you'll travel in 2022, possibly 2023, in the next 5 years, or if you're undecided on when you might travel next. Looks like there's a lot of you itching to travel again, a few undecided. With everything up in the air, that is expected, but we're hoping that we will be able to get some travel in next year. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm pleased to introduce you to Coral Carpenter Romanchuk. Coral has been with Westworld Tours for over 20 years, having traveled the globe extensively, setting foot on all 7 continents, bringing to her role as Senior Tour Director a wealth of knowledge and experience. Coral, you want to say hi to everyone?
I sure would. It's so nice to be here with you this evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And James Taylor, one of our Costa Rican tour partners, is joining us live from Costa Rica. James is passionate about educating travelers about the marvels of Costa Rica and helping clients create the best vacation itineraries to enjoy the land of Pura Vida. And now, James, I will let you take it away.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me to this wonderful presentation about my beautiful country, and very excited to of course, waiting for all of you to come and visit Costa Rica, but also very excited to talk about our beautiful country and what makes it a unique country and definitely a must destination for everyone. Before we talk about our wonderful itinerary that we prepared for the group, I would like to talk a little bit about Costa Rica and the country by itself. Costa Rica is an independent democratic country running elections every 4 years. We have one of the strongest democracy in all the Americas, and one of the oldest democracies in Latin America. We're a small country, almost 20,000 square miles uh, as a country size, but with a lot to offer. Costa Rica is a high educated country. 98% of Costa Ricans at least can read and write. We have the lowest illiteracy rate in all the Americas. Education is free and mandatory all the way through high school. So we have a strong educated people. Also, we are one of the safest countries in all Latin America. We have the lowest crime rate in all Latin America, which makes it perfect. Those combination of a high educated country and a safe country to visit, it's very important to us. Tourism is a important part of our economy, and that's the main reason we're working hard to get it back step by step, but to get it back soon. And because we have so much to offer, look, Costa Rica has a perfect location in the middle of the Americas. We have a Caribbean side, we have a Pacific side. Costa Rica has a total of 8 active volcanoes. 25% of our country is dedicated for conservation, either via national parks or private reserves. We have 8 active volcanoes, beautiful beaches, so much wildlife to see. But the best part of Costa Rica, it's the Costa Rican people. We're friendly, welcoming, ready to receive our clients. We're called the Ticos, and we call ourselves the Ticos. And the main reason of that is because we use a lot of diminutives when we talk in Spanish. So normally when you want to say something in Spanish and you want to mention that something is small, you normally say in Spanish chico, but we add the tico at the end. We say chiquitico. So they notice that when we talk in Spanish, so they call us the ticos. So when you come to Costa Rica, you're not only coming to the Pura Vida land, you're also coming to Ticolandia, which is how we call ourselves. But oh, so much to talk about Costa Rica, but I would like to go over briefly to the wonderful itinerary that we prepared for all of you. I think this is a great combination of relaxation, soft adventure, and of course, enjoying what Costa Rica is all about, that perfect balance of nature and beautiful beaches that Costa Rica offers. Starting in San Jose, your day of arrival, you're coming into the capital of San Jose, the Central Valley, the history, the culture of Costa Rica. It's found there in the Central Valley of Costa Rica in San Jose. Then we're going to move to Arenal for a couple of nights. Arenal is the second visited tourist area of Costa Rica. It's home of the Arenal Volcano. This big volcano in 1968 we didn't knew it was a volcano. In 1968 made this huge explosion, and of course we realized it was a volcano. It's been very active for many years. It was declared a national park. Around the volcano they started building first small lodges, but then it turned into a must tourist destination area. Started building more deluxe properties. All of the properties there are small boutique hotels, having a perfect view of the Arenal volcano. Also, they discover some around the volcano some natural spring hot waters. So there's several natural hot spring waters around the volcano. So spending there 2 nights in the Arenal area, doing the Arenal. It's home of the rainforest also of Costa Rica. So there's a lot of nature to see. During this tour, we're going to visit the Arenal hanging bridges. We're going to do a little hiking around the volcano. And of course, we're going to relax in the beautiful hot springs and one of the hot spring spots, enjoying a nice, a delicious drink right in front of the volcano. Then after those nights in Arenal, we're going to move to the Caño Negro Wildlife Refuge. This wildlife refuge is one of the most important refugees, not only for Costa Rica, but in the world, especially during those months of January, February, when we get all the immigration of birds coming from the north. makes it a safe place for them, but also it just is just a marvel to see all of that wildlife around the wild of the refuge of Cañonero. It's guaranteed you're gonna see tons of three of the type of monkeys that Costa Rica have, crocodiles, a lot of wildlife that you're gonna see in the Cañonero National Wildlife Refuge. But we're also gonna stay there for a couple of nights to enjoy that beautiful, beautiful area. Driving time from Arenal to the Cañonero is going to be about an hour driving time. And the wildlife all around it, and the scenery all around it, the mountains, and of course the Arenal Volcano is going to make it a very enjoyable drive. Then after that, we're going to move for another 2 nights in the, I mean 3 nights, I apologize, in the um, Monteverde Reserve. And Monteverde Reserve is home of the cloud forest. Now, this is a place where you really want to set yourself, or not set yourself, really where you're going to be into nature. You're going to be, because when you're in Monteverde, you literally step out of your room, you're in the cloud forest. Um, they said that the hotel doesn't have to do wake up calls or anything like that, because the monkeys will wake you up early in the morning. So the monkeys will take care of that wake up call in the morning. Uh, the visiting the Selvatura National Nature Park, doing the hanging bridges, visiting the butterfly garden, visiting also the hummingbird gallery, and enjoying that also a little bit of the history of the Monteverde area and how it was founded, and the importance also of that first private reserve, but now is a national park of Costa Rica. And then to end up that part of the Monteverde area, we're gonna do a tour, a night tour. They say that uh, the wildlife in at night, it's totally different. The behavior and all the things that you can see at night in the Monteverde area is totally different. So that's a must-do experience in the Monteverde area. And then after those three beautiful destinations with a combination of a little bit of adventure, also some relaxation, and also a great learning experience about the importance of the rainforest and learning about conservation and enjoying, of course, all that wildlife, we moved to the Guanacaste area. Guanacaste area is the most important tourist area of Costa Rica. From there's some beautiful, beautiful resorts in the Guanacaste area, and we're gonna stay on a very popular area called Tamarindo. Tamarindo Beach. Uh, it's like a small surf town with restaurants all around, a lot of shopping, all around. You can walk basically everywhere in the Tamarindo area. And the Tamarindo Diria Hotel is one of the best hotels in the Tamarindo area, beachfront hotel. It's a great opportunity to just relax and enjoy the fun and the sun in the Tamarindo area. But we're also going to do some important some activities over there, doing a kayak tour, also to enjoy nature and enjoy the calm waters of the Tamarindo Beach, and also the Playa Grande Beach, which is right next to Tamarindo. In that area of Guanacaste, especially Tamarindo, there's several secluded beach all around. It's not like a big town. It's a small surf town that you can go and enjoy. So it's definitely a a great adventure for all of you. And then finally, after that, we're gonna move back to San Jose and get back to our hotel. But we're gonna visit another active volcano of Costa Rica, the Irasu volcano, one of the popular volcanoes in Costa Rica. This one is going towards the northeast side of Costa Rica, and including a delicious lunch, and of course, visiting the San Jose city, the National Museum, the National Theater, and also ending the trip with a visit, learning about the history, the culture, and the folklore of our beautiful country of Costa Rica. And then our guide and driver, after that 14-day adventure, we're gonna move you back, send you back home with tons of memories of our beautiful, beautiful country. So that's a quick walk through our itinerary. Again, we're very excited. Our expert guides are ready to welcome all of you and enjoy the best of Costa Rica.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're just going to walk through. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We're just going to walk through kind of and talk about a little bit about the pictures that we're going to be seeing and the area that we're going to be seeing here. And James talked a little bit about that. But maybe you can give us a little bit more detail on some of the pictures and what kind of we're seeing here as we go through.
Yes, yeah. The one of the pictures over there that we have is the cloud forest of Costa Rica. That's Monteverde, of course. I actually, that picture with the Oscar, it's quite interesting. That's the Costa Rica produces one of the best coffees in the world. The specialty coffee of Costa Rica, it's very, very popular. And back in the day when we first started exporting coffee, we used the ox carts to move the coffee all the way to the Caribbean side so it can be exported. And now they're just these beautiful pieces of art, as you can see in the picture in the middle. That's the Oscar. They paint them, handmade paint them, and it's a beautiful, beautiful souvenir to take back home.
Perfect. And then we have the canopy tour before we do the zip lining in the Arenal area, which is really beautiful at sunset. So that's a nice addition. Okay, and here we go. So the next day we're going to visit the hanging bridges. And you mentioned about the hot springs. We do a hike at the base of the volcano.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
perfect.
That's the area of Arenal. The area of Arenal, like I mentioned, that's the trail that we use, and then we're gonna do some afternoon in the beautiful hot springs, right in front of the volcano, and also the hanging bridges. All of this area will have a perfect view, and hopefully nature will be as the picture, and we can see the perfect cone volcano in the Arenal area.
Perfect. Yes, I remember when I was there too, there was a couple of days where it was clouded over. So we were lucky enough to be able to see the peak. But and then we get into the Cano Negro area where we're going to do a river cruise or floating safari. And like James mentioned, you'll see crocodile, some of the monkey species, and lots of birds in this area.
Yeah, there's actually 3 species of monkeys that you can see in all Costa Rica, and you can see all 3 of them in the Caño Negro area.
Perfect. Good. Then we head over to the Monte Verde area. And so here you'll see the cloudy, misty forest, which is perfect for nature lovers. We'll see breathtaking views of the northern plains of Costa Rica, as our guide tells us, the history of the area. And then you have time to explore the area on your own. You can maybe, do an optional tour, visit a local frog pond, relax, or just take in the beautiful views from our hotel. And so we'll also be doing an evening nature walk here too. To see the nocturnal animals. And then traveling into the Salvatura Park, we will
Salvatura.
Salvatura Park. So here we'll get to see the hummingbirds. It's a really unique experience. You'll have hummingbirds flying and buzzing all around your head. So it's a really fun place to see the the birds up close and butterfly gardens. There's some hanging treetop walkways as well. And then after lunch, we visit the Trapezi Farm, where we'll learn about the production and cultivation of sugarcane, coffee, bananas, plantains, and other like macadamia nuts and stuff like that. So that'll be a nice tour visiting there. And I believe we would get a taste test too of the coffee. Is that right?
Yes, we're going to do some coffee tasting too. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, good. And then this is where we do the afternoon, or the sunset hike through the forest. This is when all the wildlife is active. It's a busy time in the forest for the nocturnal animals. They're starting their activities. And so maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of these animals that we're seeing here. I know I can pick out the cote in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, the
white-tailed
coati.
coati.
Then, I know the name in Spanish, but I forgot the name in English of the cerillo over here. It's the one in the middle, and then of course we have the spider.
Tarantula.
And you're gonna see, and the frogs. Actually, the frogs are very active at night, so you can actually hear their singing also. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun to see. And the tarantulas, when I was there, we saw tarantulas, which was, I am not a spider person, but they stay in their little holes and they don't bother you. So it's nothing to be too afraid of.
Yeah, and they're actually going to be running away from you. I think we always get the idea that they're going to come chasing you in the forest, but no, they're actually going to be running away from you. Actually, that's a very good picture. Probably after that, you just run away.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see them up close.
Yeah.
And in the Guanacaste area, we are going to be doing some kayaking through the estuary found between the Tamarindo Beach and Playa Grande. So you have some free time to relax there. It's a beautiful beach area. And like James said, there's lots of little coves and places that you can visit and just kind of end the tour relaxing and taking in all the beautiful scenery.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll travel back to San Jose and travel into the old city. We'll visit the volcano. With the deep richness of the volcano soils, it's evident that you can capture the brilliant hues of the farmland. So that'll be a really beautiful drive up there. You'll have hopefully you'll have spectacular views from the 11,300 foot summit. On a clear day, it's possible to see both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean from this spot. It's not always the case that you will get to see that nice turquoise water. I know when I visited, we had not so good luck and we didn't get to see it, but we'll cross our fingers and hopefully that we will be able to see that. And it won't be too cloudy.
It's the beginning of our summer, so hopefully we'll get a good clear day.
Yeah, perfect. That's good. And then we head back into San Jose, where we learn about the history of the city, and then we join your guide and your fellow travelers for a farewell dinner before being transferred back to the airport the next day. So now Coral will talk briefly about international travel with Westworld Tours and Women Explorers. And then we'll get into some of the questions.
All right. Once again, everyone, as I said, it's a genuine pleasure to be here with you this evening, and so good to have each and every one of you join us. It's fantastic to have James join us this evening as well. So a big gracias to you. Looking at the pictures in our presentation tonight just reminds me of how much I've enjoyed spending a bit of time in Costa Rica. It's 4 years since I was last there, but it's such a beautiful country. And I'm just remembering that, just, listening to you speak and enjoying these pictures. So as I'm sure everyone is. My role this evening is a little less exciting than talking about the beautiful country of Costa Rica, but it's still a really important part, everyone. And I just want to speak to you a little bit tonight about group travel and kind of the idea of why we even bother to send a Westworld tour director on a tour like this, because as you know, once you get to Costa Rica, you are going to have a local guide who's going to join you and show you around this magnificent country. But it's something that Westworld considers very important, and that is the fact that we want your needs to be taken care of throughout the duration of your trip, wherever you're going, in this case, Costa Rica. The idea is that we as tour directors can make it hopefully as close as possible to worry-free travel. That is our objective anyhow, that you can sit back and just focus completely on enjoying everything that you're seeing and doing and leaving everything else to us. As tour directors, we never know what's going to come up every day. There will be, passenger needs, that we'll be tending to. I often say too, when we're traveling internationally, our role as a tour director changes almost, I liken it to more of a tour coordinator, where instead of, taking a lead role, sharing all the information, telling you, teaching you about the country, the places we're seeing, we're taking more of a background role as the Westworld director. And we kind of move into, into a groove, you could say, where we're coordinating the events. Sometimes it can happen internationally where we're coordinating between different local tour guides and different modes of transportation as well too. So we're there just to make sure that that goes as seamless and smooth as possible. Coordinating the events, and comfort is a big thing as well. Some of you listening tonight who have traveled extensively, and some of you perhaps who have not, and that whole comfort level of being together as a group is really lovely to a lot of people. And I know for myself as a tour director, more than 20 years with Westworld now, it's that whole mentality of being a group that is really special, because what we say, it's not just the destinations, it's the people you share it with. It's a huge part of the memories that you make. So we also like to be there just to remind you too about things that you need to bring for the tour as well too. So in a short while, I'm going to ask James a few questions myself here too. But in a case like this, we certainly all know we are going to a hot country, hot and humid. And so, there may be things that are really obvious. I'm going to want to take my sports sandals. I'm going to want to take my sunscreen. I'm going to need a good sun hat as well too. But maybe there's things that are a little bit less obvious. Gee, maybe I should take some gravel with me, motion meds for those windy roads, something like that. Or gosh, I shouldn't forget to take my rain jacket with me. Those sorts of things as well too. So, sometimes there's things that are a little bit less obvious, perhaps, that we like to help people remember to take. Like sometimes, for example, an adapter. I need to take an adapter with me. So just things of that nature that you might need to remember. And another thing too is to offer advice too. Just as an example, I'm a big believer in carrying photocopies of your important documents, photocopies of your credit cards, a photocopy of your passport, things of that nature. So just things like that we're there to help with as well. Go ahead and advance to the next slide, Leanne.
Yeah, it should be coming up there in a minute.
Okay, we got it. Yeah. So here is just a few photos you're looking at of some of our Westworld groups in different destinations around the world. You see that big Westworld sign I'm carrying somewhere far from home, but it's kind of handy when we're navigating through airports to just have a big sign that our groups are watching for. Again, I liken it to just a comfort too, just helping with navigating. Everyone sees where everyone else is, and making sure there's time for a restroom break somewhere and then gathering back up again. Sometimes when we're on a walking tour, having that sign is really useful as well. And another thing I want to touch on to everyone, and those of you who are listening tonight who have traveled with Westworld know this very well, and that is the fact that we are going to call you as the Westworld tour director before we leave home on the trip. I've had people say to me many times over the years that we are the only company rather that they've traveled with who does this. And I have to say, as a tour director, I take a lot of pride in the fact that we do call you before the tour. If we are meeting you for the first time, it's a really nice icebreaker. And people say to me, and I feel the same, we kind of almost feel like we know each other a little bit before we even, meet in person on the tour, because we already spoke on the phone. And when we're traveling with passengers that we know very well from past tours, it's just a nice catch up as well too. So it's a chance for us to just say, hey, I want to go over your documents with you. I want to make sure you've got everything in order. Another really important thing that we discuss when we make that phone call to you before the tour is where we are meeting you, because this is something that is important, well, frankly, on a domestic tour too, and maybe even more so on an international tour. We're going to have a rendezvous point. So be it Calgary, perhaps, sometimes the Toronto airport is our rendezvous point, sometimes the Vancouver airport. And in that case, we will be holding that sign as the Westworld guide and watching for all of you in our rendezvous airport. And then we fly together as a group to our destination. So in this case, to Costa Rica. And of course, the most important reason that we're calling you before the tour is to let you ask us questions. And there is just no end to the types of questions that might come up. People saying, I'm concerned about the size of my luggage. That's actually a really common one. How big can my carry-on be? My favorite one, how much money should I bring on the tour? Because that one can vary a lot from person to person. So we talk about currency, all sorts of things like that. So that is just something else that we do as well. And as I say, it's really just the idea of, us being along as the tour director to kind of help coordinate on the overseas tours and let the local guides take that lead role and do our best to make everything run as smoothly and as seamlessly as possible so that you have nothing to do but enjoy your vacation. Thanks, Leanne.
Perfect. And before Coral, James, and I answer some of your questions, I just briefly wanted to tell you about some of the optional tours that are available and share some of my personal photos from when I was in Costa Rica quite a few years ago. So as you all know and have seen tonight, Costa Rica is a nature lover and adventure lover's paradise. There are so many things to see and do here in Costa Rica. And it has been several years since I've been to Costa Rica, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time there and I can't wait to return. In fact, I was able to watch some of the leatherback sea turtles hatch and emerge from the sand, and we were able to help a couple of them make their way back into the ocean. And they tell us that the sea turtles come back 10 to 15 years later to nest on the same beach that they were born. So I hope to get back there in 10 to 15 years to see my little baby sea turtle come back and nest. And you may have the opportunity to view that as well if you choose to do so. So you will have some free time on this tour, whether that be relaxing, getting out and do some more exploring. Some of the things to do that you can, when you're in the Arenal area, there's whitewater rafting. So there's everything from a float trip, a nice relaxing float trip down the river. During our rafting trip, we did a class 2-3 rapid, and you can see that in the photo in the top right-hand corner. We actually saw a sloth in the tree. We saw some of the green dart frogs, and it was just a really fun experience. There's waterfall rappelling. You can see that in the top left-hand corner and also the bottom middle. There's photos of me rappelling down waterfalls, and you can see that there's guides helping you. It was a really quite neat experience to do. There's horseback riding. Of course, you can do more zip lining if you don't get enough of what's included. You can head into the little town and explore, visit some little shops, and there's so much more to do in that area. In Monte Verde area, of course, there's more zip lining, nature walks in this unique cloud forest, hanging bridges, coffee tours. You can also take a short walk into town from the hotel and visit some of the little shops, or perhaps have lunch at the Treehouse restaurant. There's a little restaurant that's kind of built around the tree, and you can see that in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm sitting right beside one of the big branches in the middle of the restaurant. And during our time in the Guanacaste area, you may be lucky enough to see the sea turtles nesting, or visit nearby national parks, or just sit back and relax on the beach and enjoy your new friends, and just end the tour relaxing. So this tour is, I know we'll talk about this in a minute here, but make sure you keep your eye open. There is wildlife everywhere. We were lucky enough to spot some scarlet macaws through binoculars on a nature walk. We saw sloths, monkeys, tarantulas, so many beautiful birds. There's a photo of me with a toucan. That's at the that park that we visit, the nature park that we visit. It's just such an amazing place. So I know you will all have a really great time on this tour. And so now I just want to thank you all for spending the evening with us. We hope you found our presentation really informative. We are going to take some of your questions here. And Coral had a couple questions for James, so I will let her take it away right now before we start into the other questions.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, we've seen so many fantastic pictures of the wildlife. I was going to ask you a bit more about that to elaborate, but I think you've told us a lot, and we've seen a lot of fantastic pictures of the incredible animals we're going to see in Costa Rica. So I have two questions I want to ask you, James, if you just answer them briefly. One, when we think of Costa Rica, we think of heat. It's hot, it's humid. Can you elaborate for our folks listening tonight just a little bit on, it's a question that always comes up. What kind of clothes should I bring? How hot is it going to be? What's the weather actually going to be like in Costa Rica?
Yes, that's a very important question, especially the season that you guys are visiting. It's the start of our summer. Now, our temperature is very stable year long. Costa Rica doesn't have varieties of temperature like in other areas. So the temperature will be around 80, 70s, 80. On the Guanacaste area, it's going to be a little bit higher, maybe 85. It's not strong temperature, high temperature, uncomfortable. They're nice for walking. Of course, once you get into the hiking, you're going to get a little active, but it's going to be quite humid. That's an important thing. Quite humid is going to be quite humid, so it's going to get ready for a bad hair day probably every day in Costa Rica. Now, we're visiting different areas. And when you're in the rainforest, there's always a good chance you're going to get some rain. So bring your jacket, your rain jacket. It's always a good idea. Insect repellent. It's not only, it's like your passport. You need insect repellent and your passport to go into Costa Rica, because once you're in the forest, it's very important to be protected there. And of course, there's sunscreen or a hat, especially when you're going in the outside areas.
Fantastic. I was chuckling to myself when you were talking about the bad hair day. I generally, in a country like Costa Rica, gain about 3 inches of width to my beard. I go into Afro mode very fast.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. One more question for me that hopefully also will be of interest to our folks listening tonight. We call this a soft adventure tour. So I want you to talk a little bit tonight about what that means. And so for, some of our listeners who are, hoping to go on this tour, maybe they're not overly physically active, but they still really want to go. Just tell us, can they go and really enjoy the country and see and do it without being particularly, active of a person?
Yes, of course. I think the itinerary that it's prepared in a way that it's for everyone. I mean, to just, of course, you're gonna do some walking. Of course, you're gonna be active during the day, but then also you're gonna have some time to relax in the afternoon and enjoy the hot springs or enjoy, uh, take a little nap before dinner. But it's for everyone. Make sure to bring comfortable shoes. If you like hiking shoes, great. If not, just sneakers because you're going to be doing a little bit of walking. But the walking is not going to be exhausted. It's not you're going to be your feet are going to be swelling by the end of the day. And our guides do a great job of maintaining the pace so the whole group can enjoy. And the stops along the way, even in the drive, the way that they distribute the group and the trails so they can enjoy, learn, see a lot of wildlife, and also have fun and learn about Costa Rica. But yeah, I think the itinerary is suitable for everyone.
Great. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
You're
We
welcome.
have a few questions here that I will get to right now.
Okay.
Someone, Joyanne, was asking about the trips to Portugal, Croatia. Are they in 2022? Yes, they are. So we have a presentation coming up next week and the week after on Croatia and Portugal. They are 2022 trips. And what is the maximum group size? So for Women Explorers, the maximum group size is 20 people. Most of our other tours with Westworld Tours are between 40 and 50, depending on the tour. I know Croatia is a little bit lower. That one I think is around 38 passengers, and we are almost half sold out on that one. So they all vary depending on which trip it is. Jean asks, are there tours that include men or couples as well? Yes, Jean. So this particular tour is our Women Explorers, part of our Women Explorers small group division. So we have tours with Westworld Tours, and we have gone to Costa Rica in the past, and we will again in the future. And those tours with Westworld are open to anybody. So women, men, couples, single people, we welcome everybody on our Westworld tours. It's just the Women Explorers that it's a more catered towards women only. Donna asks, do you need to be concerned about malaria in Costa Rica? And then someone else asks here, vaccinations needed. Are there any vaccines that are recommended? And I'll get James to answer that, but you will want to talk to your travel health clinic or your doctor prior to traveling as well to see if there's anything that they require or recommend you traveling or have to travel. I know malaria might be one of those ones, but James will probably know a little bit better.
Yes, there's no malaria or any vaccine
No?
needed for coming into Costa Rica. Yes, no.
Perfect. Good. Good. So you can still check with your travel health clinic and see if they have any recommendations for anything. But as James said, malaria is not a risk there, so you don't need to be concerned about that. And we just have a couple other questions here. Sue asks, how much is the tour? Sue, we can email you the information on this tour, or you can find it on our website at westworldtours.com, and you'll find it under the Women Explorers section. It all depends on if you're traveling single, double, or triple. We have a few different prices. Okay, and I think that was all the questions we had that I can see here. So again, I just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. We hope you found this presentation informative. We will follow up with an email in a couple of days that will have the link to this itinerary. And you can visit our website at westworldtours.com for more information on this tour or any of our other tours. You can also find previous virtual presentations there as well that were recorded. If you have any questions, you can contact us at Xplorers, that's XPLORERS at westworldtours.com. You can visit us on Facebook or by calling a local travel agent. So once again, thank you, James. Thank you, Coral, for joining us this evening. Your knowledge and sharing your beautiful country has been fascinating. I can't wait to get back there. So yeah, have a great evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great rest of your day, all of you, and looking forward to have you in Costa Rica.
Thank you.
And Pura Vida, everyone. I love that saying in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Pura vida.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.